Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today, I want to talk about why, on semen retention, you would rather be felt than heard, and how, when you do speak, the voice that you project into the world will carry so much weight. It is as if the weight of existence itself will be carried through your words. And the reason for this is for a different couple of reasons. But first, go ahead and give a like and subscribe or comment on this video if you support content like this. So, the reason that your words carry so much weight is because you are the one that is climbing on top of the mountain of existence. And you know how when you get up to a certain level, like I don't know if you guys have or if anybody has gone on a hike where they gone on a 14er hike, which is a 14,000 foot mountain climb, basically. And at the top, you know, the closer you get to the top, the harder it is to breathe, and there's less air. But also, you get to a point to where there are no trees. There are just rocks and wind, and you can see for miles and miles and miles. I swear, when I was on the 14er in Colorado, I was on a couple different 14ers in Colorado, but at one of them, I swear I could see Kansas from where I was at. And for those of you that are not in the U.S., well, that's a pretty far away. It's a couple hundred miles, and I'm exaggerating a little bit for emphasis on the point, but it's as if you can literally see for miles and miles and miles. But when you're on the ground, you know, you can't really see over certain hills or certain obstacles, right? So think about those hills that you can't really see when you're on the ground as obstacles. Those are the depleted coomers. They can't see what's in front of them because they haven't climbed that mountaintop. They haven't had the discipline to get to where you are at. So whenever you get to the top and you're able to see certain things and you're like, oh yeah, down in that village over there, that's where the Jezebels are. All right, over here, oh yeah, those are pretty nice people, you know, those are the country folk, you know, and then over there, oh, those are the city folk, you know, sometimes who knows what's going on in there, who knows what's happening, you know, some of them are really nice, some of them are not so nice. And so, really, what you can focus on when you are at the top, which is what it means to be disciplined and what it means to have self-discipline, especially self-discipline and sexual discipline as a man, when you're at the top, you are able to see things with such clarity, with such a dignified understanding, that you will know whether or not, based on the patterns of behavior when you meet certain people, how and when you are going to be able to move forward in certain relationships, and you're also going to learn how to vet better in your relationships. This is a very, very big thing to do when you are engaging in any kind of relationship or when you're trying to get out of a relationship or whatever you're trying to do. Vetting is so important. And so maybe you're trying to see or test the faith of somebody that you're with in a relationship, or you're trying to see how loyal they are, because loyalty is something that people can have when they're family. Loyalty is something that you can have when you are around family. But blood just makes you relatives, right? So loyalty doesn't always mean that these people are your blood. And don't you forget it, because there are going to be people in your family, likely, if you are a chosen one, there likely are going to be some toxic individuals in your family. And you have either one of two choices. You can either learn from them and learn from their mistakes, or you can make the same mistakes as them and keep living your life such a way. Now, I don't recommend the latter. I recommend the former. I recommend you learn from their mistakes, because especially if chosen ones, if your parents or if anybody that you're dealing with in your family is toxic, and you should use your own discernment on this one. Use your own discernment. This is up to you. I'm not a licensed psychologist by any means, but I do provide consultations. But if you are trying to discern whether or not you need to let go of a toxic relationship, or even if it's toxic at all, semen retention will help you, number one. But number two, it's that when you are trying to understand whether this relationship is toxic or not, you'll be able to see the red flags a lot sooner in your vetting process, or you'll be able to see the red flags at least far sooner rather than later if you've been in the relationship with them for quite a while. If you're starting to notice, oh yeah, this maybe isn't that healthy, that's something you need to look at a little bit more for yourself. But to use your discernment and to utilize semen retention with discernment and discipline is going to propel you as a force to be reckoned with in this world. The reason why your words will carry so much weight is that you are holding in your essence. And the longer that you hold in your essence, the more in tune with who you are you will actually be. So when you are actually in tune with who you are and what you stand for, you are going to be far more understanding and far more appreciative of the smaller things in life. You're going to be appreciative of very small things in your relationships, and you're going to notice them more. And then the things that are not there, you're also going to notice as well. And then in just everyday life, especially as you just grow closer to God, I find myself being thankful for utensils, for running water, for a toilet, for a bathroom to shower in, to have the opportunity to brush my teeth. Just small things like that. Having a table, not everybody has a table in the world. So everything that you have right now, you can consider as a blessing. And, this is another reason why you'll rather be felt, and you would rather be felt than heard on retention, because you understand that presence is what matters. Presence is what, I wouldn't say dictates your place in the world, but your presence is going to be enough in most of your relationships, whether there are hard times or good times. Sometimes just presence and just having somebody be there is enough. And look, men, I'll tell you right now, let's say you are trying to vet a girl to be your girlfriend, or to be a potential partner or a concubine of sorts. If you are vetting this girl, and if here's how you know if you have a keeper or not. This is something that I learned a little while ago. It's that you picture yourself in your worst spot. You picture yourself maybe getting in an accident or something like that, and then imagine whether or not this woman would help nurse you, basically, back to health. Whether she will nourish you back to health. Because women are really great when you're sick, and they want to be comforting like that, right? They want to be there. They want to heal with their spiritual healing powers. That's really the power of the feminine, right? And so if you can't picture this woman doing that with you, then you're probably not, either you're not up to par on who you need to be, or /and this person is just not for you. So this is another thing that you have to look out on and look out for when you are on semen retention, is that because you're going to be vibrating at such a high energy, and I do genuinely believe in just the person's aura. I don't like calling it an aura per se, but it's more like an energy field, right? And especially if for anybody that's an empath or that is highly attuned to the spiritual frequencies, or just clairvoyant in some way, you are going to be around people, and it's almost as if you are going to just soak in their energy. Now, I've noticed this with certain people that I used to like get my hair cut from. Just sitting there, being around these people, getting my hair cut, I could feel the negativity. And so I had to stop going to these places because I couldn't stand even just sitting there with them. It was just, the energy was so heavy all the time with them. And they were very low vibrational, right? There's just no light. There's no lightness to it. And so there was really not a lot of professionalism either, but anyway, that's beside the point. The point is that the toxicity was just too much. And if you're going to be around people as an empath that soaks in the emotions of other people, you're going to have to learn emotional differentiation. This is a tool that I have created for myself, and I have found that it helps a lot of different kinds of people that are on this similar path. What emotional differentiation is just learning the ability to associate your own emotions with other people's emotions. I had a really hard time with this growing up, and it wasn't until about 2 years ago when I started to really get more of a understanding of my sense of self, because men, you do want yourself to be your own point of mental origin. Everything starts with you. Everything starts with you. So when I got on semen retention 10 months ago, almost 11 months now, I had a very big shift in my awareness of myself. And it was as if I could grow closer to my most inner self on this journey. And it's only gotten better. And sometimes, yeah, it's tough because you're sometimes so awake that the burden of being awake and the responsibility that you have of the wisdom that you carry and the wisdom that you have been granted is sorrowful. But like the Bible says, with wisdom also comes sorrow, and sorrow, wisdom. So you have to be able to recognize that wisdom is a gift, but it is not always sunshine and rainbows and lollipops. Wisdom is. Wisdom is going to be granted to you when you are on this journey of semen retention. And that's another reason why you're going to want to be felt rather than heard, because you know the power of silence. You know the power of being able to just be present. And I don't really talk much at all whenever I go out. Whenever I'm going out, I only talk if I really have to. In fact, this new gym that I've been going to since December, I've probably spoken a total of maybe 100 words, maybe 100 words to these people, because I don't see the point. In fact, I could be like that forever if I really needed to. I don't need to speak to people that I don't need to associate with. Now, if I'm just seeing you day to day, you're part of my day. Like, if I'm seeing you at the gym every other day or two, like, you're part of my day. Like, there's nothing I can change about that. And it's not like I'm going to wish you ill or anything, because, people can't go around, especially if you are an empath, you're going to notice the demons in other people, and you're going to notice the presence of them, and you're going to want to help. But it's not always good for you to help. And guess what? Like, you can't save everybody. And not everybody wants to be saved, right? So you got to be able to discern who is worth your time and who's not. And to be honest with you guys, a lot of the times, people are just not worth your time. I can walk into a room, and I know 90% of the people in that room are not going to be for me. It's not because I don't love the people. It's not because I don't care about the people. It's just that I have bigger and better things that I would rather do and that I would rather put my focus on. And that's another thing about semen retention, is that you're going to be so focused when you are alone that you are going to be, again, propelling yourself in so many different directions and ascending spiritually, emotionally, and physically in ways that you can't even begin to imagine until you're actually on the journey. And I also highly recommend you going into this journey, if you're just starting, to go into it with an intention of growing closer to just who you are and what you stand for. And you will be able to reap the benefits and reap all of the fruits of your labor and discipline in the days to come. With that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful. Till next time, peace be with you.